The Secrets of Star Wars is brought to you by the Star Quest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Star Wars, episode 54.
Hello there.
It's a power that Jedi have that lets them control people and make things float.
Impressive. Every word in that sentence was wrong.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
It's against my programming to impersonate a deity.
That's not how the Force works.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force, and I fear nothing.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Hey everybody, I'm Father Andrew Kinstetter, aka Father Fett, and you're listening to The Secrets of Star Wars, where we talk about everything connected to that galaxy far, far away, including the deeper themes and meanings. And today we are going to be discussing what is coming up on our podcast, and we have a couple special guests with us today. One of them who is part of the panel, Mike Creavey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Father. How's it going?
Pretty darn well. How are you?
Doing okay. I'm in between two of my periods at school here, so this is different.
Yes. We're recording at not our normal time, so it's a good thing though. And we are joined today also by the CEO of SQPN, Dom Bettinelli. Hey, Dom.
Hey, great to be back on The Secrets of Star Wars. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, you've been on it from the beginning, and then kind of handed the reins on over to us. So
and it's been going great. I'm glad to listen to it every episode. It's been great.
Awesome. Yeah, and we love doing it. We are also joined by a super special guest, and I will let him introduce himself.
Greetings, Jedi Master Yoda. This is, well, or at least his voice. Anyway, this is for Angela, Mike, Thomas, Andrew, and all the listeners. And thanks to Father Andrew, a.k.a. Father Fett. You know, actually, I recorded the voice of Boba Fett back when he was British, before he became someone from New Zealand. But anyway, I'm so sorry I missed this earlier. I was in the middle of moving to a new house, and it's still a mess. I mean, look, I've got stuff over. But, and there's the microphone I've recorded almost everything on, and a picture of, anyway. Appreciate it, I do, yes. And here's my, actually the first stuff I did for Star Wars was C-3PO, but... Hello, I'm C-3PO, human cyborg relations. All you need is a tin can. But anyway, thank you guys. I just want to say to everyone who listens to Secrets of Star Wars, it's a great podcast, and keep listening. You'll get some juicy tidbits, some secrets of which tell you I cannot. Yes.
Hey, that was Tom Kane, who did so many of the voices for the animated series.
Outstanding.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to incorporate that into your opening, like the opening of the Yoda actually, promoting Secrets of Star Wars.
Totally worked.
And I had forgotten. I was double checking there as he was talking, because I forgot, because he did the C-3PO, I know, for some of the Robot Chicken stuff, which was like going way back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So that was, oh, my goodness. That's so awesome.
So good. So good.
Yeah, so just a bit of background. I had asked him to do the cameo for our May 4th episode.
Oh.
And he was in the process of moving and didn't get around to it. So he actually made that for us completely for free.
Oh, wow.
Because he missed it. And
Great.
So yeah, this has just kind of been a good Star Wars year. So,
yes.
Still celebrating May the 4th, even in September. So yeah, with that, we are just going to get into briefly kind of what we're looking forward to this fall. It's kind of a big fall for us. Mm-hmm. Especially on the podcast, but of course in the Star Wars world as well. October 30th is super far away, but also it's coming quicker than it feels.
It's 30 days, 13 hours, 42 minutes.
Not that anybody's counting, right?
I have a countdown on my whiteboard over on the other side of the room.
My son asks me every day.
I have parishioners asking me, about that too. And in fact, I had one bring me a cereal box of Baby Yoda cereal. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing.
Nice.
So we've got some things like that coming up, but on the podcast, of course, the next thing that is coming up, and get excited because we are going to be jumping in to the finale of Rebels in just a couple weeks. So there's a lot going on there, and we can't wait to talk about it. So we're not going to talk about it now, but I guess Dom, since you're not going to be on the panel, I guess maybe just what were your brief impressions overall of Rebels or of anything in that show?
So the thing about Rebels, which is like, it seems to be the case with all of the Star Wars animated, was it took a while for me to get into it. For Rebels, like the very beginning, I was like, what this is weird. This isn't Star Wars like the same as like, because of course it's a new story in Star Wars. But as it got to the final season and then the end of that final season, it really all came together, and it really, I mean, what a story of sacrifice, of love, of family, of the service beyond yourself. And it really opened up these new vistas, literally, on the way the Force works in Star Wars. And then as it came to that end, and I won't spoil it for your discussion, but just in general, that ending and literally the open-endedness of it, the fate of two characters, like, and there's, I mean, just
they're not dead.
They're not dead. Right. I keep thinking about having been reading the new Thrawn novel, the Timothy Zahn one, which was awesome.
I read it too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I look at that, I read that, and I'm thinking about the Thrawn of Rebels. And where is he now? What's going on with him? What happened? So that's my general impressions just of the series itself. I love it. And the ending, which was just really great.
I think if I had to be honest with you, I did not like Ezra for like the first season or two. But definitely he grew on me and became one of my absolute favorites out of the entire show. And of course, I think the show is really focused on him and his growth and his view of the family that he's a part of. So yeah, to leave his fate kind of open-ended it's also really cool because he doesn't show up in the movie, so you know that he, like, I guess watching it, you sort of wonder what happens, and we now know that he's
right
off somewhere, but we don't really know where. And I guess the only other thing that I'm going to say is I loved the fact that they brought Grand Admiral Thrawn into into the animated show. He is one of my absolute favorite. I sort of want to call him a villain. He is a villain, but he's also, like, especially when you read the novels, like,
it's complicated.
Yeah, but he's like the Sherlock Holmes that you root for.
Right.
So I'm super excited to talk about that. Mike, I'm sure you've got a few things to say.
If I wasn't 100% against the Empire, I would like Thrawn. If that makes sense. I totally I have loved exploring his character more in the novels, and I haven't. You guys, so you're talking about the Ascendancy one you read?
Yes.
Because I mentioned in a previous episode how I sort of shot myself in the foot by waiting to get on the audiobook list. So I'm like, I think I'm 10th on the list. I was 12th. So I have to wait a few more weeks to actually be able to borrow it. But so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I and again, spoiler, hopefully not a spoiler. If you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker by now, you probably should have. And
if you listen to this podcast,
right? And so and clearly, you hear Ahsoka's voice as one. We saw that way back, as one of the Jedi. So in theory, she's probably passed away by that point of the storyline. But that's way before Mandalorian, because there's all the speculation about her maybe showing up in there. But yeah, you don't hear Ezra's voice. So there's part of me that's just kind of like has all this hopeful, like, man, there's no way that they're not gonna, somehow bring, him and other characters, that we'll get to in the finale, back in some way, shape, or form, whether it's Mandalorian or one of these spin-off shows or something, and all that speculation. I really enjoy it because it's like, they're going to do something with it, and they're just leaving us to sort of figure it out.
The only one we know is still around in the movies is Hera Syndulla.
Right.
And after the movies too.
The ghost is in The Rise of Skywalker, but whether it's Hera or whether it's Jason, her son, we're not sure.
But she's also in the Alphabet Squadron books, so she's around at least after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Sure,
and
sure.
She is,
Yep.
They have a sort of live action-ish, or I think it's CGI, but in between animation and live action version of her in that Squadrons game, which has been pretty cool to see clips of. Now, that's not long after Empire, but or Return of the Jedi, but she's in. There's, you could have her, and I don't know. We've been talking about the whole like, who do you want or don't want to come into the Mandalorian? I don't really have a firm position. My attitude is more like, I just don't want them to overdo any of them. Like, it's not. It shouldn't become the Ahsoka show or the Hera show, but to have it be a spinoff. Or what do they call that? Something like something pilot. I forget the title for it. Where a
backdoor
turn
pilot.
It in. Is that it? Yeah, like a backdoor pilot. Yep. Have at it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a great way to potentially do that. With this platform they've got.
Well, and what's interesting about that is Ahsoka even just being such a hated character when she was introduced, and then became such this beloved character.
Yes.
Yep.
I would be all for even if it was just an Ahsoka-centered episode, kind of one-off in season 2, or I would totally be into a series with her.
I'm trying to back off some of the potential spoiler stuff. Like I'm not going into it as much, anymore. Just I don't want to ruin it. But that's the last I heard, is that seems to be speculation that she's going to appear, but probably just in one episode, which I think would be good.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I guess kind of speaking of The Mandalorian, we don't want to. Of course, all of this is completely rumor at this point. So I guess I would just kind of throw out there, like, what are you most excited about for The Mandalorian season 2? Because, that is going to be a huge part of our podcast. Once The Mandalorian starts streaming, we will be getting back together every week to review every episode. So, it'll be super, super exciting, and there's going to be a lot going on. But so, yeah, without getting too much into potential spoilers, what are you guys most excited for about season 2?
I'd say I really want to find out more about where Moff Gideon fits in all this, and I want more Mandalore, like the lore about Mandalore, and find out what the connections are and what happened to Mandalore after the things we saw in Rebels. I guess was the last time we saw Mandalore. And so what happened, and what is it with this particular group of Mandalorians we've met? Or is it all Mandalorians now who don't take their helmets off? And that whole thing, how what we know, quote unquote, about Mandalorians has changed. So that's, I'm hoping that part of the mythos expands a lot in this season.
That's exactly the two I was going to mention too, especially because, and everybody, and again, I have no idea if Sasha Banks is Sabine or not. I don't think she is. I know that's been the chatter out there. Because to me, I don't know, the impression I get, it's like a half a second in a trailer, when you see her and everyone's like, well, they show her when they're talking about the Jedi. I'm like, well, first of all, Sabine's not a Jedi. Well, yeah, but she had a lightsaber. I'm like, okay. So did Han when he cut the Tauntaun open. So, but more to the point, to me, if you're casting Sasha Banks, who's like known as this like WWE, like highly sort of theatrical fight type, like that's her background, right? Maybe she's a good actress. Who knows? I totally feel like she's like Moff Gideon's muscle. That's just my guess, because to me, like, if you're creating this show and you don't plan in a really intense fight between Gina Carano and Sasha Banks. I feel like that's what it's kind of for in a way, which would be pretty awesome. Just really theatrical again. But who knows? I mean, it might be Sabine, it might not be. But I don't know. I'm not. I would love to see Sabine. I'd love to see Ahsoka. I'm not too worked up about that per se, or even the Boba Fett thing, which would be pretty cool, just because of its the importance of making that canon really in this particular way. But yeah, honestly, for me, Giancarlo Esposito and the Moff Gideon thing, like that, he just sends chills down my spine, you know, and the arc with him at the very end, you know, and then of course the big twist with the Darksaber. It's just like, okay, like, you can't do this to me and then tell me I have to wait 10 months to, you know, hear more about it. So, and he's been particularly, you know, active and talking about stuff and giving little hints and stuff. So I'm excited about his arc, especially.
Speaking of that, I guess we'll throw that out there. He mentioned that there's going to be at least 4 seasons of The Mandalorian. So that's pretty exciting.
Good news and bad news. The good news is at least 4 seasons. Bad news is we'll have to wait till the 4th season to get some resolution on anything.
Maybe on everything we were just talking about. I don't know. You know.
I always feel okay with that because it gives me something to look forward to. I know that there's something that it requires a certain amount of patience to watch a show as it airs or as it streams in this day and age. Like, you know, watching an episode and having to wait 7 days before the next one is sometimes just brutal. And yet there's also something incredibly awesome about that because it gives you the time to process and think and analyze and speculate and, you know, rather than just binging everything at once and then just kind of, you know, getting overloaded.
One Father, funny enough, on that point, I'm literally training myself right now. So I'm up to next up is episode 5. So I've been doing this for about a month now of watching season 1 every Friday.
Perfect.
One episode. So I linked it up. So as soon as I hit episode 8 from season 1, then the next Friday is season 2. So it's like I'm trying to get that back in my pattern.
Great idea.
Perfect. Because that'll be important. Just to remind our listeners that the episode before we start talking about the Mandalorian season 2 is we are going to do an episode on the Disney Gallery docu-series on the Mandalorian. So we're going to kind of try to do I don't want to call it a recap of season 1, but kind of a Mandalorian season 1 discussion in general, sort of in preparation for season 2. So that's going to happen before we jump into season 2. And before I forget, I haven't actually said what I'm most excited for about season 2. And both of you didn't mention what I thought you might mention. I want to learn more about Baby Yoda and his, you know, how can you not just fall in love with that character? You know, so the dynamic between Din Djarin and the child, as it's officially known. I mean, that just took us all by storm and is such an awesome dynamic and duo and family.
I just assumed they wouldn't tell us more about the child in the second season. Like we'll learn a little bit, but I don't feel like we're gonna get much more than we know. They're gonna drag that out.
Well, I love the speculation, and it's anybody's guess, but the speculation that they might reveal his name being Minch, I believe, you know, part of Lucas's original potential name for the original Yoda. You know, and I was like, that sounds like a cute name. I don't know. Yeah. Since I'm at work, I just want to show you guys can see this. They can't, but one of my students made this in a 3D printer last year.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. It's this little Baby Yoda in the floating pram.
Nice.
So I have to get it painted, but that's so... He just goes, hey, do you want this? I was like, yes, I want that. So...
You guys have seen mine, right?
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah. So,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, mine was made by a wonderful listener, Ezra.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
That's right.
So,
yes. Yeah.
Baby Yoda and Mando 3D printed and painted.
Nice. Wow.
I'm definitely in the I'm just calling him Baby Yoda camp until otherwise, you know.
I know that you know, Disney is trying to push the child as his official name. And I think
even Mando called him the kid. You know?
Right.
Like, maybe not the child, the kid.
but I think even when they reveal like his actual name, I don't know how well it's going to stick. Right. I think Baby Yoda just has captured everyone's, you know, imagination. And I mean, even Mando, like I have to like stop and think like his name is Din Djarin, right. But it's easier like because you know him as Mando throughout everything until kind of the last 1 or 2 episodes.
Well, and when it's first used in the first scene in the bar, it's like an insult. It's like a derogatory, like, hey, Mando, you spilled my drink. Like, it's kind of like, am I allowed to say that word? No, it's like in universe, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, Disney had to expect this happen because you introduce this character who looks just like Yoda, but a baby, and don't give him a name, well, what do you expect? The fans are going to call him something.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
They could have made it a girl. They didn't. It's a boy. Like Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I just call it the Baby Yoda show, so I don't even call it the Mandalorian anymore. I just want to see Baby Yoda.
Well, and if I remember right, when I ordered my Baby Yoda stuffed animal from the Disney store, I want to say in the description it was listed as the child, and then there was some allusion to, everybody knows him as Baby Yoda.
Right.
So like even they're recognizing that it's officially the child, but
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, Mandalorian season 2 is going to be, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And thankfully it's one of the things that wasn't affected by COVID.
Right.
Yay.
So.
Oh, and did you guys see today, by the way, there's some speculation because one of those like toy release things, I just saw it in passing, where it was like, oh my gosh, like, look, this is, a picture of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I don't think it is. I agree with those who say that Hasbro's doing this thing with the Rebels toys to make them, look like real versions of the cartoon characters, I think.
Yeah.
And so, but it's cool because it's one of Ahsoka's, the sabers, that Anakin made blue, and that arc at the end of Clone Wars season 7, that they're selling that. So that's kind of hitting the internet today, where there's like a picture of it, and it kind of gives you an idea though of what she could look like live action. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, and speaking of kind of toy releases and everything, it's actually today's Tuesday. Yesterday, Monday, Disney's been doing what they're calling Mando Mondays, which has been on social media for years at this point, but Disney's finally jumping in on it. But they're doing like pre-order releases there's a Lego Star Wars The Child. There's a figure from Sideshow of the Mandalorian who's like 20 inches tall, which is really cool looking. There's like, pre-orders for the new Funko Pops and everything. So I can't remember if they're doing releases like every Monday leading up to the release of season 2.
I think so.
Okay. So I think if you go to mandomondays.com, you can kind of see some of the things that they've got going if you're interested and have room on your shelves to display some of these things.
Starting to run out.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a lot happening. So listeners, definitely stay with us as we jump into season 2. The other couple things that I wanted to mention that are upcoming on the podcast are, first of all, I'm super excited to say that we're going to be doing a Christmas special this year. Well, kind of. I mean, so Star Wars is doing a Christmas special this year. It's a Lego Star Wars Christmas special. Oh. So, okay, so we're not really doing a Christmas special, but we're going to be reviewing.
Starship's not going to be in it, or
Life Day, and actually, but I'm pretty sure I saw the trailer. I'm pretty sure Life Day plays a role in this Lego Star Wars Christmas special.
It should.
So. So we will be reviewing the Christmas special as our kind of Christmas special, so that should be fun. But I'm pretty sure this Christmas special has like Rey in it, and I can't remember if I want to say they like go through time and visit different parts of the Star Wars universe. It's been a number of weeks since I saw the trailer, but that will be super exciting. And the only other couple things coming up that I'm thinking of right now is we're hoping to do like a villains series and a kind of a heroes series. So we want to, in 2021, start to try to take individual villains and kind of talk about them and what makes them a villain and why we like them and why they work, and try to analyze specific villains, heroes, and I've kind of separated them into villains, heroes, and scoundrels. So,
nice.
So listeners, if you have any thoughts on any villains, heroes, or scoundrels that you'd like us to talk about, or thoughts in general about a particular one, definitely let us know, and we'll incorporate that into our discussion going forward in 2021, as we're waiting for the other new shows, the Obi-Wan show, the Cassian Andor show, and all of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the Bad Batch. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know when that's being
I don't know. I got to look that up.
Yeah, so there's definitely a number of shows coming our way. I don't think we're set for a movie until like 2022 maybe, or
right.
maybe
I think they really want
farther
to
out
build
than
up
that.
the lore with this. It's I think a good way to go.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty okay with kind of sitting back on the movie front and jumping into the TV series a little bit more right now.
Yeah, the Bad Batches says 2021, so that's all they said.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely be looking at that when that releases too, and the other individual topics will just kind of float around the release of those particular series.
Yeah, my guess is Bad Batch is sort of next up for them, because I think they're recording the Kenobi show early 2021,
Yep.
so that might not come out till, it might be like, Bad Batch, Mandalorian, Kenobi, something else. We'll see how it goes, but.
Yeah, the speculation on that is a 2022. So they're filming the spring 2021, and they're saying it's going to be a one-off season. So it's not going to be an ongoing of about 6 episodes. But who knows?
I can live with that.
Awesome,
if people love it,
I'll just be happy to see it. Yeah.
Well, Mike, you'll have to let us know if the show incorporates anything from the Kenobi book. Because I have not read that book yet.
So, that one's not canon. That's a Legends one.
But I'm wondering if they'll bring in some of the Legends aspects.
I totally. I mean, it's that entire like the Ronin samurai kind of thing, and that's. I mean, and you got Black Sun. You have the crime syndicates. Like you really have a tremendous amount to work with. With a 6-episode Kenobi show, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is definitely quite a lot to look forward to. So, stay tuned.
And don't forget the Cash and Andor series, which is in active production.
Cool. I think with that, I want to turn it over to Dom to just kind of give us a rundown on what else is happening in the SQPN network.
So, great, thanks. If you are a fan of the Secrets of Star Trek, you might like Secrets of Star Wars. I've just spoiled what I was about to say. I'll cut that out when I edit.
Some Star Wars fan might be offended by that. But
well, if you're a fan of this show, Secrets of Star Wars, you might also like a lot of us be a fan of Star Trek. And so, in that case, we have a Secrets of Star Trek for you, and we're the Star Trek is also got a new season of a current series starting off in October, and that's the new 3rd season of Discovery. I got to tell you, the Discovery first half of the first season was shaky. Second half got better. Second season really good. So we'll see what happens. The 3rd season is really going where no one has gone before, into 1,000 years in the future. So it will be interesting to see what they do with that with the 3rd season Discovery. So, and we'll be covering that on a week-to-week basis on the Secrets of Star Trek. We're still going on with Secrets of Doctor Who. We are covering both New Who. We've been working our way. We're in the Matt Smith era now. And we're also covering Classic Who, and that's been a lot of fun, including some stuff that's been reconstructed in animation with the audio stuff that's been lost, and they're reconstructing it animated. So that's a lot of fun, as well as some stuff the audio plays that Big Finish does with the actual actors from Doctor Who. So they grab up the actors and they have them reprise their roles in audio form. It's so much fun. I wish we could get Star Wars to do that, to grab up Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and just throw them in a studio and and record audio plays featuring our favorite characters. But that's
right.
Hint. So we got those going, and we've also got if you're interested, American Catholic History is really a great podcast. In about 15 to 20 minutes a week, you get an interesting story about some aspect of Catholicism or Catholic people, Catholic places in America. And Tom and Noel, who host that, they're actually hosting a pilgrimage next year. God willing, we can all do these things. Pilgrimage next year to the Kentucky Holy Land. There is an area of Kentucky called the Kentucky Holy Land, where it's the actually one of the first Catholic dioceses in America was Bardstown, Kentucky. And so there was a heartland of Catholicism there. It also just happens to be where there's a lot of bourbon distilleries. And so they're planning to stop at some of those as well. Some of those early bourbon distilleries were founded by Catholics. So it's very interesting. So check out American Catholic History. There's some great episodes recently. An episode on Alfred Hitchcock was one recently, and some unexpected folks and places and things. So you check it out. Right now, our one of our biggest podcasts, Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. It's going gangbusters. We're doing some fun, great stuff. Again, we just did a two-parter on this guy named Ingo Swann, who was he worked for the CIA as a remote viewer, i.e., they believed him to have this ability to see to see things from a distance. And when I mean a distance, I mean not like he has good eyesight, like other side of the planet. And in this case, he claims other side of the moon. So were there really alien bases on the moon? So Jimmy and I explore Ingo's claims and what that was about. So check that one out. And it was really a lot of fun. And we got some great stuff coming up. Coming up in October, we've got a really fun one called the Mysterious Deaths at the National Hotel in Washington, D.C. When President James Buchanan was about to be inaugurated, when he stayed at the hotel, he and hundreds of others came down violently ill. And so some people thought, and 40 people died. And some people thought, was it an assassination plot? Was it just an illness? What was it? And so we explore that mystery as well. So a lot of great stuff coming up. And
I want to, can I throw in something?
Yeah.
Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World is one of my absolute favorite podcasts, but also especially if you're into Star Wars, there's a lot of cool science episodes that they do. Time travel, black holes or mysteries of the universe and the galaxy. And so I just want to throw out there that there's some really fun stuff, not just kind of mysteries that are historical in nature, but galaxy wide mysteries.
Covers the gamut. I mean, Jimmy really has wide ranging interests. And so, we and that's one of the things that makes it fresh and fun all the time. And then for those who have been following along with the network, so we're a nonprofit apostolate. We are a Catholic apostolate where we're our mission is evangelizing through media and exploring the intersection of faith and pop culture, which you guys do so well on this podcast. And one of the things is we've been trying to reach financial stability, so a break-even point, so that we can be sure that the network can continue. I'm happy to say that we have reached that point. That for the foreseeable future, at least as long as people keep supporting us, and please keep supporting us, because there's always people who have to drop off. So we always welcome new, and we're hoping that if we can get some more financial support, we can do more. So keep that in mind. But we have reached a break-even point, and that also means that we're going to be soon having a special giveaway for patrons, which I'm really pleased to say. And we're giving away, due to the generosity of verbum.com, the Catholic Bible Study Scripture, Catholic Bible Study software program, that we're going to be giving away 16 of their packages, including one that's worth several $1,000s. So we're really excited to do that. So things are going well, and so thanks for asking.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's great. There's a ton of really good shows on the network, and I personally can vouch for The Secrets of Star Wars, The Secrets of Doctor Who, and Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. They're all fantastic, and I need to jump into the other ones as well. So I think we're going to kind of wrap things up there. So definitely, listeners, please let us know, what you're most excited for about anything upcoming in Star Wars. If you have any ideas, suggestions for what you'd like us to talk about and cover, in 2021 and going forward, just definitely let us know. You can email us at starwars@sqpn.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, and you can find us on Twitter at SQPN. And of course, we always want to take a moment and thank our patrons, of course, who have made it possible for us to create The Secrets of Star Wars, including this week, Sean G., Leah H., Philip C., Brock R., and Craig H. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue The Secrets of Star Wars and all the shows that we make here at StarQuest. And please, if you'd like to join them, you can do so by visiting sqpn.com/give. And definitely, please make sure that you're subscribing to the show. You can do so in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast player apps. You can also find us on the SQPN YouTube channel. Just please be sure to click the bell to receive notifications of new episodes. And you can find any and all previous episodes of The Secrets of Star Wars at sqpn.com/Star Wars. And we will, of course, be back in 2 weeks where we will be discussing the explosive finale of Star Wars Rebels. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for that. And then we will be jumping into The Mandalorian. So until next time, Mike Creavey, thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of Star Wars.
Hey, my pleasure.
And Dom Bettinelli, thanks for joining us this day.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. And once again, I'm Father Andrew Kinstetter. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Star Wars on StarQuest.